I've done a couple of videos about our software before, but I've never really focused on the component that has to do with merit-based, I guess need-based too, but merit-based aid from colleges. So what I thought I would do would be to walk you through exactly how to do that. And for this example, I chose my involuntary volunteer, Lizzie, my daughter, who's in 10th grade. And I'm not going to go through all the particulars, but I threw a whole bunch of schools in here too that she's considering looking at, or I just figured I'd want to throw in there just for the heck of it. But this software, you may have seen other the other video I've done on this. But what this software does is it factors in, just in case you haven't seen it, not just your grades and scores, but all sorts of other criteria, including activities, talent, outside of school activities, volunteerism, character traits, and it also compares you against everyone that each school on your list admitted the previous year, compared to Naviance, which looks at only academic stuff, and it only looks at kids in your high school. So the flaw is that the admissions decision is comprised of roughly 60% academic, 40% non-academic. So Naviance blows off entirely that 40%. And it also, you're not competing with kids in your high school, believe it or not. They may sound counterintuitive. I'll say it again. You're not competing with your peers at your particular high school. You're competing with kids all over the world. So this software is designed, it pulls information from all over the world, what the colleges self-report in terms of who they admitted from everywhere, not just your particular high school, as well as factoring in non-academic factors. So, but one of the other things that I sort of gloss over a lot, which I realized I shouldn't, is cost and aid. So if you know, for example, that you're not going to qualify for need-based aid, which a lot of people don't, and maybe ironically, we don't either. But you're interested in finding out what the merit opportunities are, you go to cost and aid in here, and then you click on merit aid. And what this does is kind of breaks down the criteria as far as the colleges themselves report this, that they will publish to let you know what it takes to get a scholarship. So let's look at UMass Amherst, for example. Merit aid, they give you a little bit of information here, and click here to see financial aid and scholarship details for UMass Amherst. So what this does, it takes you right over to each school's website. They have some kind of crawling thing that they put in here, and it gives you all of the information that is published here. So sometimes colleges will say, okay, well, in order to qualify for the chancellor's scholarship, we generally have minimum GPAs of such and such and such and such. So I'm not seeing that right now at UMass. And a lot of times colleges are kind of vague about this because they, here we go, 3.5 GPA each semester, here are the amounts, so you have to kind of do some digging. So there's some guidance, but sometimes schools are like a little vague on this, mostly because they say that if they published exactly the recipe to qualify, then all they would get would be applications from qualified kids, and they couldn't possibly afford to be able to do that. So let me just look up something else here. Let's look at San Diego State University, which she will go to over my dead body cross country. I actually just put that in there myself. She didn't do that on her own. So there's scholarships here, right? So let's check that out. And it gives you all these links, are there separate applications? How are they selected? All the politically correct, here's how we don't discriminate stuff, and so forth. So let's see how recipients are selected. Let's see what happens when I bring that up here. Okay, so there's stuff about financial aid, and there's a committee, and there's race and gender, and all that. Okay, fine. That didn't really help me. What about how to search? So let's say you're going to major in art, right? And you're coming in as an undergrad. Let's see if there's any art scholarships available here. So so there are some, right? So this really, you still have to do a lot of work, but this software, which is part of our Inner Circle membership, really helps you cut back on all of that, pain and suffering that in searching high and low, and it gives you a good idea of whether you'd be eligible and whether there are any extra requirements. The other thing I guess I should say is that there's a need-based component too, built into the software, which is pretty cool because it's, the guy behind the software, Don Betterton, who's a sort of a mentor of mine, was on the admissions committee of Princeton for 30 years. He was on the and he was the director of financial aid also. So that is it's good news in terms of the information that they have about about getting money. So you can use these tools to help sort of guesstimate how many what your expected family contribution is, and other tips that have to do with the FAFSA and the profile. So this software, I use it primarily just to help figure out the college list and making sure it's strategic and all that, but it also is very strong when it comes to helping you figure out the money aspect of it. So I hope you found this helpful, and if you have any other questions about our Inner Circle membership, you can just go on our website, lockwoodcollegeprep.com/inner-circle. lockwood.com/inner-circle. Thanks.